your communication skills are lacking. You may think you speak very well, but you actually don't. And the moment you need to articulate your thoughts clearly, you would see how limited you truly are. You see, communication is everything in the modern world. Your ability to communicate greatly dictates your success, even if you don't have any other skill to back it up, because high-level communication is essential for influence. It can get people to understand you, respect you, and follow you to the end of the earth. You can't be a leader without it. The truth is, I used to suck at communication. I struggled forming clear sentences and making genuine connections with others. And because I was bad at it, I acted as if it wasn't important. My actions are more important than my way of communicating. That's what I convinced myself of to cope with reality. I was a fool until I grew older and started to see how effective communication is. That's when I realized power is nothing unless you can turn it into influence. Finally, I began working on my communication skills, and it improved my life and leadership abilities in many ways. I will lay out 6 brutally honest ways to elevate your communication game, which will teach you how to develop your own witty and charismatic style of speaking. So make sure you watch this video until the very end. First and foremost, it's essential to think before you speak. Many individuals tend to blurt out their thoughts as if they were having a solo conversation, largely because they feel pressured to respond swiftly. This pressure to respond quickly isn't based in reality, but rather a creation of their own minds. They feel an urgent need to answer promptly, even in low-stakes conversations, like when your barber strikes up a chat during a haircut. However, just because someone poses a question doesn't mean you're obligated to answer immediately. Consider the value of what you're about to say and whether it contributes meaningfully to the discussion. Hasty responses can make you come across as unprepared and inattentive, which can be detrimental to your image. To avoid this, pause and reflect before you speak. That momentary silence can make a world of difference in the quality of your conversations, preventing you from saying things you might regret later. Here's the secret. The more you practice pausing before responding, the shorter those pauses will become over time. You're essentially training your mind to think swiftly under pressure. Initially, you might require longer pauses to construct well-thought-out responses, and it may feel awkward at first. However, with practice, you'll effortlessly deliver insightful answers as your thought process becomes more adept at rapid processing. This is why you'll notice some individuals, whether in debates or podcasts, effortlessly delivering impactful responses. It's not due to memorization or extraordinary talent, but rather their proficiency in thinking before they speak. So, remember, thinking before you speak is the foundation of effective communication. Secondly, be mindful of your choice of words. Words carry weight, so you must pick your words carefully. Always consider how they might be received by the other person. It's not just about what the content of the words you're saying, but how that person would receive it. You see, the words you pick, combined with the tone you use to say those words, can make a night and day difference in how it gets received. Something you say with good intentions can be perceived as disrespectful or hostile merely because of the wrong choice of words and tonality. You must be tactful as well as respectful of other people's feelings. Do not misunderstand it. I'm not telling you to become overly sensitive or use indirect communication. However, you should always consider whether you're about to say something necessary, relevant, and appropriate for the situation. If it's not, Bite your tongue and save your thoughts for something more suitable. Remember, to become articulate is to become the master of your own tongue. Thirdly, master the art of listening. Shut up and listen. That's right. One of the most important ways to become better at communicating and gain influence is by being a good listener. Everyone likes to talk about themselves, and when you allow them to share things they love or enjoy talking about. Most people don't know this, but listening is actually the winning formula for influencing people. And it sounds easy, right? Well, it isn't. Being a good listener takes just as much skill as it takes to become a good speaker. So take time in learning and mastering this skill. Number 4, speak concisely. Most people talk a lot without saying anything. They don't know how to get to the point. A concise and direct approach to communication is highly valued because it shows respect for the listener's time and attention. Your speech becomes 10 times more powerful if you know how to get to the point with as few words as possible. Don't get me wrong, sometimes you need to explain things thoroughly and add a lot of details, but the same rule still applies. Leave out any information that is irrelevant and craft your words carefully. Don't use 10 words when you can convey your point with 2 or 3. You see, people tend to tune out when they feel like someone's wasting their time or not providing valuable information. This is because you come across as indecisive and uncertain if your speech is filled with garbage filler words or when you start to repeat yourself. To speak concisely, always remember that your message will be boring and forgotten if you use too many filler words. On the other hand, it will be remembered and understood if you keep it concise and straight to the point. So, stick to the point, keep your focus on the main topic, and resist the urge to digress or share unrelated anecdotes. Number 5, practice. I've given you all the information you need to communicate properly, but now we're going to get into how to practice and become a master at communication. Your practice comes down to 2 simple things, input and output. We will first start with input, and that is reading. One of the best ways to become more articulate is by reading books. Reading a variety of words makes your conversations more flexible and dynamic. A strong vocabulary provides speakers with the ability to create compelling and thoughtful sentences. So, find books on topics you want to get better at, whether it's books on self-improvement, making money, or even fictional books. Now, the second part of practice is output. Start writing. Putting your thoughts on paper will improve your ability to articulate your thoughts because you are training yourself to play around with words. You can write about anything. You could journal about your goals and dream life or other thoughts that are on your mind. There are a million different things you could write about. Once again, even if it's just 15 minutes a day, or even every 2 or 3 days, it will carry over into your speaking abilities. Number 6, copy and combine. It's time to expose the secret of developing a great style of your own. Start copying great speakers. What? Most people will misunderstand and say they don't want to be a copycat. Listen, humans learn by copying. When you were a baby, you learned by copying your parents. Then you went to school and started to copy your teachers and peers. And even now, you continue to learn by copying those around you. Copying is only a problem when you copy from just one person. When you copy from dozens of different people and mix it up and give your style to it, that's called innovation. You need to copy different styles and blend them together to create something that is effective and powerful. This is how you'll be able to master the dance of your tongue and be able to articulate with finesse that has never been seen before. By the way, if you want to level up in life, don't forget to show some love by hitting the like and subscribe button. Until next time, stay tuned.